Hey everyone, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be kind of updating a little bit for Ret DPS for Antor's Burning Throne 7.3. Basically, if you are completely new to Ret and you need a complete guide on just the very basics, I have older videos that you can go back and look. This is just going to be updating kind of things that have changed a little bit and what you might be looking for. I've been mentioning a few times on some of my videos. Huge shout out to the silverhand.net. I get especially my trinket guide and simulations from them. As always, I always encourage everyone to support them. If you want to see trinkets, for example, I'll give you that direct link in the info of the video. Go ahead and check that out because I'm not going to break down every single trinket. That would take way too long. First of all, the hugest change, it's something I speculated about when they first released the patch notes for it, and it is about mastery for Ret Paladin. This used to be by far your worst stat. However, it is now, all things equal, your best stat. Like I said, I kind of speculated about that without having any numbers in front of me, and it turns out that if you had 0 of everything, that mastery would give you the most DPS throughput. So all things equal, mastery is your strongest stat. There is, of course, a slight breaking point at some point, but it's basically just going to increase. It increases your damage done to your the targets with judgment on them, and judgment gets buffed really big as well. Since last time I did one of these videos, so now judgment's a strong move, and then your new set bonuses for Antor's are all around judgment. Judgment damage increased by 40%. When you use judgment, the cost of your next holy power spending ability is reduced by 1. That is a very underrated force set there. It's a free holy power basically. I've been playing around with it a little bit and getting mixed results. Obviously, you could just run millions of not millions, but run simulation of millions of scenarios and get the probable answers. But also, you know, real raid encounters don't always mimic simulations, depending on how the fight goes. So let's go ahead and talk about the talents a little bit. We have Execution Sentence, Final Verdict, and Consecration. Final Verdict's still kind of the go-to one there because it's good for both AoE with Divine Storm and for your Templar's Verdict, which is going to be your highest move. The next talent is kind of interesting because you'll see people using a little bit of all of them, except for once you get your set bonuses for, well, just your 2-set really, you can actually just go ahead and use Greater Judgment for your talent. And that's because you're going to get Critical Strike, targets above 50% health. So for the first half of a fight, your Judgment damage is increased by 40% and it's always going to crit. So your Judgment hits extremely hard. It becomes like your almost, well, because of the cooldown, it's like your most powerful move really, above 50%. And I do use Judgment on cooldown when the boss is over 50% every time, just to get that crit, that free crit and free damage. Again, I haven't I've had mixed results. I have all epic parses so far, but I don't have a legendary one yet, so maybe I shouldn't be doing that. But I've had pretty good results with doing that. Zeal is most likely, as long as you have some haste, some decent amount of haste, Zeal is most likely going to be your go-to if you do not have your set bonus yet. However, Fires of Justice and Zeal are fairly close, so it's going to depend on what your haste is at and what you sim at for that. It's impossible to really just tell you which one to pick. I would say with the amount of gear that we have now, it's pretty safe to go with Zeal, but of course go with Greater Judgment if you have the 2-set. Next talent trees, no, nothing changes there, obviously. Level 60, Blade of Wrath still kind of the go-to to do here. Level 75 talent, you can do whatever you want here. Eye for an Eye can possibly give you a DPS increase. I use Jeskar's Vengeance for survivability. That's just what I use. I use it as a self-heal when things get sticky. If healers are down, whatever. If you know, some people have very clean raids. Our guild doesn't necessarily have very clean raids, so it comes in very handy for me. 90 talent, again, this is just your choice. I use Divine Intervention. And level 100 talent, you're of course going to still go with Crusade, and we'll get into kind of Divine Purpose as well here soon. The other thing that's kind of changed is your Legendaries. so we'll get into that. Ret unfortunately has become RNG. So another reason why, maybe I have some low 90s parses, but maybe I didn't get legendary because I didn't get the RNG. Ret is now RNG to fit in with the Legion expansion completely. I'm really hoping that they kind of just fix Ret so it's just not as just RNG, only do damage during wings for the next expansion. But however, we're just going to go with what we have for now. So a lot of people with the best parts is what the legendaries are using is Chain of Thrain, which is always the best one, and Soul of the High Lord Ring. This is a change because in the last raid, people were using Chain of Thrain. Some people were using Legendary Cloak. Some people were using the other Legendary Ring, the one that gives you more holy power, to kind of synergize with the set bonus there for the last raid tier for Tomb of Sargeras. However, Soul of the High Lord is the one, if you want to have the best possible numbers, that's what you're going to use. Again, this is RNG, so what does that do? Now it's going to give you an extra talent. So on your level 100 talents, you have Crusade. It's going to give you Divine Purpose. So every time you use an ability, Templar's Verdict or Divine Storm, I should say, you have a chance to get a free one of those, and of also Justicar's Vengeance if you have that talent. And this is RNG completely. Now, it will average out pretty well over the fights, I found. So, maybe you're going to get, I'm completely making this number up off the top of my head, but 15 to 20 procs per boss fight. The key is to get them to proc when you have your wings on. If they proc when you don't have your wings on, it's a good way to keep your damage a little bit more constant. However, if you really want that high throughput, obviously you just want as many as possible. But if you can have them happen during your wings, I found that to be very helpful. It's also very helpful if they proc right when you start your wings to get your max damage and haste up, and then you can just kind of fly through. You have basically extra few seconds of your top damage then. So again, it's kind of RNG. It's very unfortunate, but that's just the way it is right now. You can still do Belt and Cloak. You can still play with your legendaries. Soul of the High Lord is just going to give you the best possible chance to get like the top parse because of, again, RNG, if you have good RNG luck. And I'm sure I probably had good luck on my middle 90s, low 90s parses as well. I probably had pretty decent luck myself, let's be honest. Other than that, there are a few more changes. Again, this is just based on simulation. You might have a different experience when you're actually in the raid. But your neck enchant now is going to be Mark of the Trained Soldier. That's the one that increases your mastery, as mastery is now your best stat. That's a change. You're still using haste gems. Trying to think if there's any other big changes there. Still using haste gems. And then as far as trinkets go, you want to use Khaz'goroth's Courage, especially if other people in the raid have it, of course. That is going to be your best trinket. And then the Seeping Scourge Wing is generally going to be your best single target trinket, and Gorschlock's Legacy is a very good AoE trinket for us paladins with the haste on it. Generally, your stats might look like Mastery highest, then haste, then crit. That's probably the best way to simplify and say it. If you could have your crit and haste be kind of equal, that's probably a little bit better. I wish my crit was a little bit higher personally. But kind of mastery, haste, crit is kind of where you want to be at in a very general sense, again. Hopefully that helps anybody. If you have any really specific questions, feel free to comment below. Hopefully this can help some people out, and everyone have a good one.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Thumbs up and sub as always. Also comment below, share the videos. Appreciate it so much. You can also check me out at Twitter at WowGamingInc. And at Twitch with the tag name Kneecap Killa. So everyone have a good one, and see you again soon.